this edition of the Archive by the EMU, the bright and shining academic stars of 2015 are announced and lauded for their efforts and achievements, and ASAP, the anti-violence sports-based program, is launched at Keon High School. But up first, the Republic of China on Taiwan continued its commitment to the development of the education sector in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis by providing scholarships valuing some $100,000 to 170 students who have shown significant promise. Recipients and their parents received these monetary awards in the presence of education officials, including Minister of Education, the Honorable Sean Richards, who expressed the view that students were to be grateful for the privilege of being acknowledged.
While the gifts come shortly before the Christmas season, there are gifts that you should remember, you should cherish forever when you reflect upon your lives.
The Learning Support Division of the Ministry of Education graciously accepted computers from the Medical University of Health Sciences to be used in the strengthening of the administrative function carried out by the unit. The computers, which were handed over by Dr. Agnes Beachman, were received by Chief Education Officer Dr. Tricia Esdale, accompanied by Director of the unit, Mrs. Josephine Claxton, key members of her staff and other education officials. The Education Media Unit was on hand to capture the event.
Turning over 12 units of computers to the Ministry of Education, who will put them to, I'm sure, immediate good use. They're right behind me here, and they'll be delivered to the Ministry of Education as we finish this handing over ceremony.
The Ministry of Education is committed to introducing technology into our schools, and while computers are just a small part of that, it is by no means a little thing. These computers will have a huge impact on the lives of our students. As we move forward in expanding technology and in expanding the reach of education, we know that one of the things and one of the greatest skills that you can give a student is in fact the ability to access and to gain new knowledge. And computers are a great tool for doing that.
And in more technology news, the laptop distribution drive of the Ministry of Education culminated in December with Minister of Education, the Honorable Sean Richards, distributing the devices to remaining government institutions. According to Minister Richards, his ministry plans to launch a newly designed technology initiative early in the new year, which will comprise teacher and educator training, student training, and the restructuring of the computer labs in schools. Months of rigorous and intense action came to a critical juncture when heads and key personnel sat to discuss the way forward following the submission of the UNESCO Education Policy Review document. The two-day meeting was conducted with a view to determining the way forward, given the sobering diagnosis, and to strategize on definite steps to advance educational policies.
So based on a scoping mission that was conducted in June of 2014, 4 key policy domains were identified for review. Because UNESCO had already completed a comprehensive TVET policy in 2013 in the Federation, the areas selected for this review include 1. Governance, planning, and management, which includes funding and monitoring and evaluation, academic staff policy, curriculum and assessment, and the teaching and learning environment. Shortly after that mission, a national review team was assembled and drafted a detailed country background report to provide UNESCO with relevant, descriptive, and contextual information on the domains under review. Using the evidence presented in this background report, along with the data the expert team collected over 2 technical missions, during which more than 100 stakeholders within and outside of the education sector were consulted, I'm happy to say that UNESCO is here with us today to present the completed external review document for our comment and subsequent validation.
Amidst challenging circumstances, leadership of the Bastyr High School and Education Ministry organized a professional development day which focused on creating and maintaining a culture of excellence through service.
This theme truly captures the recipe for success. Excellence, by definition, references a quality that surpasses ordinary standards. A culture encompasses a way of life. In this context, it refers to the day-to-day running and the corresponding atmosphere created at the Bastille High School. A service is indeed an intangible commodity. As it relates to teaching, service refers to the delivery of a sound education. Therefore, the teachers of the Bastille High School this year are attempting to brainstorm ways in which they can elevate the standard of the day-to-day running and the corresponding atmosphere created at the Bastille High School.
Ministry officials attended a tour of the temporary structure, which is expected to open at the start of the 2016 school term, bringing much needed relief to students and teachers following a period of instability after their original campus became the source of health concern, resulting in the decision to relocate and eventually to rebuild.
Obviously, this project here for Innotech is a design and build where we were responsible for both the designing and the construction. And obviously the physical constraint is the size of the site and what was made available to us. We believe we've done as much as we can with the space allocated for this temporary complex. I guess you would have noticed that the classrooms themselves seem quite big. They've been designed specifically to try to improve or maximize ventilation to make sure the classrooms are as an ideal learning environment as is possible.
In celebratory news, the hard work of several of the Federation's most outstanding students became known when the results of their efforts were announced to the wider community and in fact dispersed globally early in December. The state scholar was announced as Christian Bryden of the Clarence Fitzroy Brand College with 11 grade 1 passes. Tyler Martin of the Nevis Sixth Form College was first runner-up state scholar with 6 grade 1 passes and 2 grade 2 passes. And finally, second runner-up state scholar Jamal J. Basu, also with 6 subject passes and 2 grade 2 passes. And in more exciting news, Mr. Sani Steinbergen, a student of the Virchilds High, produced the most outstanding performance in the May to June 2015 Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate, or CSEC, examinations for St. Kitts and Nevis. Tasani offered 15 subjects, and her achievements were 13 grade 1 passes and 2 grade 2 passes. Xavier Jean Bass of the Washington Archibald High School attained 12 grade 1 passes and of the 12 subjects that he set, and Orwensia Haynes of the Washington Archibald High School offered 10 subjects and earned 8 grade 1 passes and 2 grade 2 passes. Michaelia Tyson of the Charlestown Secondary School offered 15 subjects and earned 11 grade 1 passes and 4 grade 2 passes. We congratulate all our students. Another young person hit the headlines in St. Kitts and Nevis when she participated in UNESCO's 9th Youth Conference. Carissa Roberts was full of praise for the event, which she dubbed an awesome opportunity and a motivating experience as far as making her contribution to the realization of a sustainable planet. With a bright future in sight, Ms. Roberts said she had to do all in her power to ensure that the future is secure and to ensure that other youths understand their roles as well. As such, Ms. Roberts plans to organize training with the assistance of the National Commission for UNESCO and the Youth Department.
I personally want to recommend to the young people of the Federation to get involved. There are more forums like the UNESCO Forum where youth participants can have a voice and be the sole voice to decide on what our future holds. There's the St. Kitts and Nevis National Commission for UNESCO. You can visit there, find out what projects are ongoing, or if you don't want to do that, you can do like myself and come up with your own projects and partner with the National Commission so that they can see that you are willing to make a voice for the youth.
Minister of Education, the Honorable Sean Richards, also represented the Federation when he addressed UNESCO's 30th session of its annual General Conference in Paris, France. The minister in his brief address zoomed in on small island developing states in light of emerging economic and environmental crises taking place globally, and asked for UNESCO's continued support in addressing these challenges. A school system that addresses the needs of all students is the focus of the Ministry of Education's forward-looking strategy. As such, the ministry is supportive of programs such as ASAP, the after-school activity program, which kicked off at the Keon High School on December 1st. The program, facilitated by the Caribbean Sports and Development Agency (CSDA), brought together coaches, PE teachers, youth and community leaders, and other trainers and youth leaders to equip them to motivate youth to participate in sports while in school, distracting them from antisocial behavior and encouraging high morale. And our schools highlight for this month. Both the Keon Primary and the Irishtown Primary carried out impressive programs capturing the attention of persons in the community when the Keon Primary engaged in a very thorough Reading Week activity which featured among its various events a spelling bee competition and storytelling classroom event. The Irishtown Primary School also captured the attention of the Education Media Unit by launching a prefect program as part of the Child Friendly Schools initiative. Both schools were highlighted because of their aggressive programs addressing some of the key ministry focus areas, including improved reading ability and the schools that realize the importance of child involvement in the day-to-day rollout of positive school behavior. Children's participation in the Federation's year-end festivities are said to be set to a new tune this year, as the organizers have sought to request that musicians and bands offer child-appropriate music for the parade. The campaign to launch this new initiative took place during the months of November and December and featured the distribution of wristbands and bumper stickers for persons who want to show their support. I am Maria Crawford, and that's our current edition of The Archive by the EMU, the program where we don't simply rewind, we remind.
For further information, please contact the Education Media Unit at 467-1111 or 467-1520.